Hey everyone, today we're going to talk about the ideal watering window for something with a hard media like this LECA and Perlite, and it's tough to stick your finger down and figure out the actual moisture of the container. So for a typical aeroid mix or soil-based plant, you can typically feel the soil, feel that it's moist, look at the bottom, feel the weight of the pot, and you can figure out how much water is in the media. But with LECA, it's a bit tough. This has drainage. It is a mixture of perlite and LECA on top, and it's mixed through at about 50-50. I'm watering this plant typically between every 3 or 4 days, all the way up to 7, depending on how much light I'm giving the plants, how hot it is in here, and also the humidity. So now I'm trying to figure out exactly the ideal watering window of this plant. It's been 6 days since I watered this plant last. I looked into these rocks yesterday, but I'm gonna show you the process that I do to make sure that this plant is ready to go, and I'll show you what healthy roots look like. So the method's kind of straightforward, but I'll do this with this single plant as a representative sample of the few that I have to water. So I'll just simply pour out the LECA and perlite mix. I'm about halfway done, and you can see the roots so far. A really good sign, those fluffy, fuzzy roots. When roots dry out, and that's where you want them to be right when you water, they start putting out fuzzies all along the length of the root kind of stem, and that's actually what's absorbing the water. It's the root hairs. So I don't want to disturb the plant too much, but I want to get a really good look into these roots, and as you can see, they're super healthy. There's no signs of browning or blackening on the roots. They're like a yellow, blondish, white color, and that's exactly what you want to see. There's no root rot. And then on what came out of the pot, it's a mixture of the LECA and the perlite, but I really want to see the dampness of the bottom and the middle of the pot after about 6 days. This looks pretty dry. It's not completely dry. It has some moisture on it, as you can see from the coloring, but it's right where I would be watering it at. And again, it's been about 6 days since watering this plant, and I'm right at that exact window of optimized watering, which develops the biggest roots and grows the most healthy plants. If I were to water on kind of day 4 and 5, I would be overwatering, and if I were to stretch it to day 7, I would be underwatering. I suggest you do this in your own environment. For me here at about 87 degrees Fahrenheit right now, with tons of lights, I'm at about 6 days, and I'm gonna use that now as a gauge. Whenever the temperature and environmental conditions change, I'll change how much I'm watering. So as you can see, they're super healthy, white, fibrous roots, and there's no root rot in here. I'm right on track for watering today, so I'm gonna fill back in this media, and I'll simply water with the 2-part A and B, simply over the rocks. I'll make sure to spread the water out around the rocks, just lightly drizzle it on, going around the stem, and I'll get some out of the bottom here, just like that. And just allow it to drip off. And that's as simple as taking care of this LECA and perlite mix. It's the fastest way to grow these plants. It's the simplest way to do it without a pump or a reservoir. It grows faster than that passive LECA reservoir we've talked about before, where you kind of have a vase sitting with the A and B and you leave the water in it. This has much better root growth and less possibility for algae, root rot, bugs. It's just a fabulous way to grow these plants. If you guys did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, and please like the video for the algorithm. And we'll see you next Saturday for another video about houseplants. Have a great day.